Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything, drawing every country in the world's flag. And today, going to be going back into the Caribbean, just a little bit north of Trinidad and Tobago. And we're going to be doing St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right, so we've done a few Caribbean islands on this channel so far. And they all kind of have modern looking flags, because most of them achieved independence in the latter half of the 20th century. And this one's no different. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines. St. Vincent is an island, and then the Grenadines are about 32 smaller islands, and that's what makes up the country. A little bit different than some of the other Caribbean islands. There's no Spanish influence there. It's mostly African, and then British and French. Okay. So Christopher Columbus visits the island in, I believe, 1498, so a little bit after his first voyage. Names the island St. Vincent after St. Vincent of Saragossa, because I believe the day that he discovered the island was the feast of St. Vincent. It was a religious holiday, so they've kept that name ever since. And then kind of into the after the age of exploration and into the colonial period, there's a lot of French and British colonization, and then they bring African slaves to the island. The native Carib people that are there are some revolts against the rule, and they kind of hold on a little bit longer than most as far as like keeping European influence out of the islands. But eventually that kind of ends. And let me see, just finishing this blue here. If you want to know a little bit more about Christopher Columbus, you can check out my Christopher Columbus video in the James Across America series. Yesterday being Columbus Day, we honored him. Okay. And yeah, when I say that slaves were brought there, it was actually the French that did it. The French brought the African slaves. The 7 Years' War between France and Britain, that kind of takes place in the New World. I touched upon this in some of my other Caribbean videos. All these Caribbean islands kind of have similar stories. The French and the British play a big role in kind of shaping the modern world. And this is really no different. So as a result of that war, these islands are ceded to the British, right? So the French are kind of kicked out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Bounces back and forth a little bit. So the French take it over very briefly again, but then it goes back to the British. And the French, very similar to like what they were doing in the future United States, and then into the early Republic period of the United States, they encourage the natives to revolt against the British, right? So a lot like they did with the Indians here in America, in the United States. So those Carib revolts do enjoy French support. The British abolished slavery in 1834. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, very notable for its sugar production. So it does become one of the wealthiest islands or island nations in the Caribbean due to the sugar. And I feel like that's a story that kind of like all of these islands share, right? Like they all became rich because of that. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines is really no different. It's got like a really weird like kind of diamond pattern in it. So I just want to make sure I measure these correctly and get this right. Kind of a unique flag. There's just really no others that kind of have this sort of pattern to it. straighten this out a little bit. So they become part of Britain's colony in that part of the world. They are a Commonwealth country. They still are to this day. And they were part of a short-lived federation of the British West Indies. So that was like in the 1960s. There was like an attempt to form like a unified West Indies Federation there, and they were part of that. That didn't last too long. And then in 1979, they achieve independence. Still enjoy Commonwealth ties, but they are an independent nation state at that point in time. And in 1979, they also get destroyed pretty much by a volcano. Actually, not a hurricane, a volcano. I got hurricanes on the brain. But yeah, this country has a lot of volcano activity. And I think as recently as like 2020 or 21, they got wrecked again. So like every like 20 or 30 years, they just get destroyed by volcanoes. And they're mainly an agriculture economy, so that really messes with that. But like in recent years, they've made more of an attempt to be friendly to tourism. So a service tourist-based economy. Again, a lot of sugar, just like all the other Caribbean islands in that area. And so they're pretty well integrated into all like the Caribbean nation states. They're part of CARICOM. And yeah, that's St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I feel like all these countries kind of have the same story, right? Britain versus France. One of them gets the island, one of them has to go home. Sugar production, natural disasters, independence in the 70s. Right? That's pretty much the same story for all of these. Alright, so it's got yellow in the middle of the flag here. So let's just get rid of that eraser part. Finish this off. I always say how these island countries, right, these newer countries, they have like flags that were designed by like 1990s, like Microsoft Paint or something, right? Very, very kind of bizarre looking and angular, simple. And this one's kind of no different. So, what do you think the blue stands for? Alright, come on guys, this is a pop quiz. Island country, right? If you've been paying attention to my channel for more than 2 seconds, you know. The blue means the sky and the ocean, because of course it does, right? And then the yellow stands for the golden sands of the Grenadines. And the green stands for the vegetation of the island. All right, and then what about this crazy diamond V here? Well, it's a V for a reason. The V is for Vincent, St. Vincent, and then the diamonds represent St. Vincent and the Grenadines being one of the gems of the Antilles. And I know I've done a few of these the Caribbean island countries. Is it just me? Or is pretty much every single one claimed to be the gem of the Caribbean, or of the Antilles, or of the West Indies? They all say that. So if you all say that, how can one be the gem, right? So I don't know. Maybe they should have like a tournament and see who the best country is there. All right. So Saint, long name. Gotta make sure I can fit it all. Vincent. And the Grenadines. Not Grenada, the Grenadines. Alright, so that's the flag. And yeah, when I look at this flag, I said in 1979, here we go, bonus content. 1979 is when this country achieved independence, right? So I know in the late 70s, early 80s, arcades were becoming a big thing, right? So when I look at this flag, I immediately think of old school 8-bit Nintendo graphics, right? Like this is some kind of crazy video game level. You'll see where I'm going with this. So let me just get my diamonds back on there. Shine on these crazy diamonds. Okay, and then just to give them some weight, some dimension. I'm just going to make them three-dimensional. Right, with the limit of 1979 arcade technology. Alright, so there's our diamonds. And then, I don't know, like this over here. We'll keep that. So maybe that's like a blue wall or something. That your little guy that you're playing as has to climb down or whatever to get these gems. And then we have to have obviously the green on the other side. Maybe the green though, maybe this is where they keep your score or something, right? So he's got his health bar, some kind of writing or something. And let's see here, we'll fill it up. Make that yellow. And we'll do that green. All right, and then let's just say you got like some kind of Super Mario looking dude. He's got to run through St. Vincent and the Grenadines, avoiding these dangerous volcanoes. Give him a red shirt. I don't know what he's trying to do in this game, but a lot of those early video games didn't really make any sense. Alright, so we'll give him like a score or something up here. Give him 5,225 points. And then maybe, if I get another color out here, he's trying to avoid some dangerous burbs, right? So you got burbs, 8-bit burbs flying over your head, coming after you. And I don't know what diamonds and burbs have to do with each other, but they're trying to protect these diamonds, trying to make it so you don't get them. And maybe because there's a lot of volcanoes there, these burbs also spit fireballs at you. Alright, so look out. You gotta avoid these. Make the yellow background. I think it's where I probably did play an arcade like this once. Looks like almost every arcade from, like, you know, again, the early period, early 1980s. Pong, Pac-Man, all that stuff. Well, here's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, man. All right, so you got to go collect all the jewels and I don't know, rescue a princess from a volcano and some giant burp demons. Alright, so that's St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There's my video game. That flag just really reminds me of. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next video.